And as Latin American families look for a better future in the United States, their journey north means that they have to become much more than just migrants. They have to become survivors. And we've been covering so many of these treacherous journeys through that 60-mile stretch of the jungle known as the Darien Gap, the only path north via land that migrants can take. It exposes those that dare to embark on this dangerous journey to disease, starvation, wild animals, even bandits that prey on the most vulnerable. Joining us now to talk about the record number of children crossing this dangerous stretch of jungle is current Foreign Affairs Minister for Panama, Erika Moines. So glad to have you with us.
Hello, Caroline. Hi, Terry. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are talking about 19,000 children, half of whom are under the age of 5. What is Panama doing to aid those most vulnerable right now?
Yeah, I would start by underscoring what you were saying at the beginning. The numbers are unprecedented. Just this year, we've seen 111,000 migrants cross through Panama. And to give you a sense of what that number means compared to that last year, it was 8,000. So we went from 8,000 last year to 111,000, and we're not even done with the year. We think that by the end of the year, it will be 150,000. So it's an unprecedented number. They mostly have arrived in South America. We've seen about 70 to 80% of them arrived in Chile about 10 years ago, mostly Haitian, and are now making their way a terrible and incredibly dangerous journey, often encouraged by human traffickers. The Darien Gap, as you were saying, used to be this natural barrier between South America and North America. And now, when they get to Colombia, encouraged by these traffickers and by organized crime, they're making this journey that it was not supposed to be, and we receive them 8-9 days later. Lots of women, 1 in 5 is a child. 80% of those children are under the age of 5. They're malnourished. They need a lot of attention. And Panama provides not only shelter, we have dedicated shelters for migrants. We provide food. We do special food for those mothers that are breastfeeding for the children. We do health checkups and health support. I met a young girl that after going through 5 countries, in South America, she contracted yellow fever in Brazil, and it was only in Panama, the first point of entry where she actually got support and medical assistance, having yellow fever and being quarantined and being supported in her illness. That is absolutely preventable. So ultimately, this is a crisis that is not only one country or the one specific within South America. It is a regional crisis right now. We're looking to have this be a priority throughout the region. There are 12 countries in this journey. We need all 12 of them to engage, to make it a priority, and to solve it regionally.
And Minister Moines, from 8,000 to 150,000, obviously the pandemic has something to do with that, but what is driving this human tide north in such extraordinary numbers? And I also understand there have been some killings in the jungle. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there are a number of causes, and clearly, first of all, it can be managed. If last year only 8,000 crossed through those borders in South America because they normally go through roads, that can be managed and can be contained. So what we did was a few months ago, we called for the first ever regional meeting, a summit, a ministerial summit where 10 countries participated. We wanted everybody engaged. We created a roadmap with everybody's input on 3 main points. One being immigration policy and being coherent with if you're encouraging migration, if you're prepared for that. The second one, the humanitarian approach. This needs to be seen through a humanitarian lens all throughout. Nobody chooses to be a migrant. These are awful and dire conditions, and you need to support them. And the third one, as a shared responsibility that we're looking for everybody to do their part, there is a law enforcement component, because the human trafficking aspect is what is motivating all these migrants as they're encouraged, not knowing what kind of journey they're going to go through. So ultimately, what I would say is, if last year only 8,000 were able to mobilize, first of all, it can be managed and it can be contained. And the second one, Not one single country can deal with this. The U.S. has a huge burden in this, and it cannot solve this on its own, nor can Mexico, nor can Colombia, nor can Chile. We all need to do our part. This is a shared responsibility.
So, I mean, we're talking about a treacherous, thick jungle, no roads, little food, bandits, wild animals. Why hasn't there been more of a concerted effort to build a better way north?
Yeah, the jungle was never meant to be an area for migration to cross. It wasn't in the past, and I think that what's changed now is when they get to the Urabá area in Colombia, there are a number of organized crime and human traffickers that are encouraging this path that it wasn't meant to be. So again, what we're saying is, you need to first take out the element that is profiting from human misery. They're profiting from the terrible conditions of others, and they don't know what kind of conditions they're going to encounter. So we need to make sure that we eliminate that element. But second, throughout the South America, we call it, there are sort of the originating countries, the passage countries, and then the destination countries. All three areas need to contribute to the solution, and it needs to be a coherent one with the policies that you have. If you, for instance, if you have charters of migrants coming to your country, it's because you are prepared to support them. You have the infrastructure. You can't just have these migrants arrive and then look the other way and let them go through this journey that it was never meant to be in the first place.
Foreign Affairs Minister for Panama, Erica Moines, we sure appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.